In this video we're going to learn about reading digital and analog inputs. We'll start off with finding out what the difference is between digital and analog inputs, and then we'll go on to an example of reading digital input. We'll finish off with an example of reading analog input. So what's the difference between digital and analog input? Well, digital input can only be one or two states. It can either be true or false, or another way of looking at this is on or off, or one or zero. It can be seen in this graph here. Analog input, on the other hand, can be anywhere between a range of voltages. In the Grove Pi, that's 0 to 5 volts. To use these values in programs, Grove Pi converts this to a number between 0 and 1023. This graph here shows analog input. Here's a simple example of reading digital input. It takes a signal from a button and writes out to the console whether or not the button has been pressed. Creating this program is very simple. First of all we need to do is import the relevant libraries of Grove Pi, pin and sensors. Then create a new instance of the Grove Pi and a new instance of the button, making sure to connect to the correct pin. As can be seen here, we're connected to the digital pin 4 with the button. Then in a constant while loop, we want to check if the button has been pressed. If it has been pressed, we want to write to the console that it's been pressed. And then, so long as the button is still being pressed, we want to stay in a while loop, and when it's been released, we want to write out that it's been released. Then this loop will start again, and we'll check again if it's been pressed. Here's a simple program which takes the analog input from a microphone and outputs it to the command line. You can see the numbers go up when I tap it and make lots of sound. The code for this program is very simple. We first have to import the Grove Pi, pin and pin mode, and then create a new instance of the Grove Pi. Then we set the pin mode of analog pin 0, that's where the sound sensor is plugged into, to input mode. Then in a constant loop we write out the analog read value from the sound sensor to the console. Thanks for watching this video tutorial. I hope you now have a better idea of some of the differences between digital and analog inputs and have some good ideas of what you could do with them.